I'm going to show you how to be more profitable than 99% of businesses without working more hours, burning your team, or raising your prices. And no, it's not some productivity hack or AI shortcut. The truth is, the businesses that win in 2025 aren't the ones with the best products or services. They're the ones with the leanest, sharpest, and most reliable teams built from talent most founders completely ignore. Stick around because I'll break down 1, why bloated payroll is killing your margin, how smart companies build teams for 50 to 70% less, and how you can recruit offshore rock stars who will outperform your in-house or local team. This is the exact system we've used to help over 800 businesses scale faster, leaner, and more profitably. Let's dive in. Here's the truth most people won't tell you. Most business owners don't have a hiring strategy. They have a panic button. So when revenue goes up, the leads go up, and the team starts to feel pressure, and boom, they hire the first person that says, I'm available to help. No real process and no long-term thinking, just plugging holes. So what happens? You start overhiring, overpaying, and now your margin starts decreasing. I've seen companies who are making over $3 million in revenue have over $1 million in payroll every year. That's crazy, and that is not needed, especially if you're hiring A players offshore and you're doing it at a leaner model. And trust me guys, I would love to help someone hire over 20 team members, and we have many times. However, most businesses are not ready for that, nor do they need that. Instead of hitting the panic button, what makes more sense is to create a system and create certain automations to be able to eliminate hires if you're not needing them. And when you do need them, you hire for the right role at the right time, and you're always proactively hiring. Just like you've probably heard the quote, always be closing, you always wanna be hiring, but not actually hiring someone, but being in the process of interviewing people and actually seeing the talent that's out there, so you're always one step ahead whenever you are, quote unquote, in panic mode. And here's where it gets worse. Owners don't track their team's output like they're tracking ad spend. So many of these founders are putting $5, $10, $20 a day into ads, and they're seeing the ROAS, the return on ad spend. But when it comes to actually tracking their team's performance, tracking KPI, and being able to see the results that their team is getting, they're either not doing it or they're calculating it not right. What happens there is it lingers into your payroll, and you're in the mindset that things are working because it seems like they're working, but in reality, your margin is taking a hit month in, month out. So the first shift you need to make in order to be more profitable than other businesses, you need to stop seeing hiring as a reaction to workload and start seeing hiring as a strategic investment with measurable ROI. You don't need more people, you need the right people on the right seats at the right time. Now let's talk about the new playbook. While so many American-based companies are complaining that people don't want to work, they're lazy, they're cutting corners, other companies are quietly building A-player offshore rockstar teams that are starting to take over your industry, and this has already been happening with the S&P 500 companies. This has been happening for years, but now smaller businesses in your industry are doing this on a regular basis. They are reverse engineering how the S&P 500 companies are scaling profitably, and they're able to implement this internally by hiring A players offshore, whether they're here in Colombia, Venezuela, or outside the US, where they're able to save on costs up to 80%. One of the best proofs I have for you is we have a client that hired not one, but 2 closers who are making over $8,000 per month. Half of that was on salary, which is crazy. And they replaced that with 2 Latino closers for a quarter of the price, who ended up outperforming these 2 closers because they were hungry, they're more appreciative, they were loyal, they were coachable, and they were ready to go from day one. Think about that. You found people who are better at a lower cost. That is the ultimate winning formula. Another example of this is one of our marketing agency clients has a staff of video editors that are based in the US who are getting paid anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 per month. And don't get me wrong, some of these guys are very talented. However, many of them have been now replaced by $1,500 to $2,000 full-time video editors based here in Colombia, and actually one of them in Mexico, who can do the job just as well or better. So now this company was able to save $3,000 to $4,000 on an individual placement, and they were able to do this multiple times over and help them gain back 20% of their margin. Let that sink in. What would 20% extra on your margin do for your business? Probably a lot. So you want to scale lean, you need a remote team that's built for efficiency. This is what we helped multiple clients do, not just this month or last month, but for the last 4 to 5 years, we've helped over 800 businesses do this. If you want video editors, appointment setters, closers, most roles we can fulfill on, head over to remolatinos.com and speak with our team so we can help you find exactly what you're looking for. And this is the part where most CEOs don't believe it until they experience it for themselves. These CEOs or founders think remote equals risk. Remote people don't care as much. Remote people can't be as fast or as connected. But isn't it interesting when you do it right? Remote almost always outperforms your in-house team, your local team, and it saves you money. The key word is doing it right, meaning that you must have the right systems in place internally and hire the right people. If you have the right systems, but you hire the wrong people, you're gonna go nowhere. If you have no systems, but you hire the right people, the same exact outcome will happen. Now, isn't it interesting how so many companies have already been hiring remote for the last decade plus? We're just not finding out about this after COVID, but companies like Tesla and Apple and Amazon have had remote employees for years. And whether they're really high-level people or low-level people, the fact that they're doing it already tells you that they're one step ahead. And the truth is, scaling a business remotely forces you to have more clarity, forces you to have a bigger and more clear mission and vision, and forces you to have the right systems and hire the right people. Because when you have someone in person and they're the wrong hire, it can drag on for months for you to find that out because maybe you really like them and they're a nice person. However, when things are remote, there's something that we call ownership and outcome reliability towards the role. We don't want to hire someone that just comes in, clocks out. We want someone that owns the role, that has the right outcome in place, and most importantly, outcome is results. We are a result-driven company. We don't want people that can come in and not do the job at scale, because what they do in the beginning might not be exactly what they start doing later on. This is why it's so important to hire the right people from the start, so that way you save yourself time, money, and energy, and not having to replace people every other month. Another thing is remote culture, and so many people talk about, how do I build a remote culture? Well, number one, what are your company core values? What does your company stand for? What's the mission and vision? When you're interviewing people, are they aware of this? Is this clear on the job description? Is this something that they are aligned on? Because if not, you're gonna hire someone based on skill, but later on their cultural flaws are gonna expose you or them within the company, and it's gonna create a very toxic environment. Culture over anything. And I actually learned this from my multi-8-figure clients who did a whole presentation in a mastermind talking about the importance of culture. And here I am thinking that culture is only important for high 6-figure or low 7-figure companies. That is so far from the truth, I cannot even explain to you guys. Culture is everything. If you're hiring people purely based on skill and experience, that is gonna come back and bite you. And I just had to learn this the hard way. You always want to find people who are aligned with you on your core values, on your mission and vision. And when you're interviewing them, they're on the same page with you. And you can tell, I mean, this is where the gut feeling comes in once you've interviewed enough people, that this person is going to come in and deliver, not just on the job, but as a culture. Because most of the time, this person or other positions, they're going to deal with other people, not just you as the founder, especially if you're building a team. So it's so important for you to be the representation of your company or whoever's interviewing them, but being understanding that the entire company is going to be dealing with this person, not just the person that's interviewing at this moment. So here's the recap. If you want to be more profitable than 99% of businesses, you have to stop hiring reactively and start hiring strategically. You want to build lean, cut the fat that you don't need, and start looking into hiring outside of your zip code. Start looking to hire outside of your own country. Because not only can you get A-player talent, but you can also save so much on cost. We're in a global talent economy right now. The companies that are thriving aren't the companies with the biggest payrolls. They're the ones with the smartest teams. And if you're serious about hiring A-players that can come in to your company and make a difference from day one, whether it's appointment setters, closers, cold callers, or even editors and creative people, head over to remolatinos.com and speak to our team so we can understand more about you and your hiring needs and ultimately connect the dots and help you find exactly what you're looking for. And I'll see you on the next one.